Welcome back to the show, everyone. Of course, Vancouver celebrating 125 years. And we should mention, of course, the history of the Aboriginal and First Nation people in this area goes back
it's a lot longer.
Thousands of years. So it's kind of trite sometimes to celebrate things like 125.
But you've met her on our show before, and Courtney Mumma has brought some very cool stuff from our history. How are you, Courtney?
Hi, Courtney.
Thank you.
Good.
When did the archives first start? I know that's probably a bit of an awkward question, but...
Well, the archive started with Major Matthews, who I'll tell you a little bit about today, but we didn't get our building in Vanier Park, the dedicated building, until the early 70s.
Wow, cool.
Now, we have so much to get through that you've brought with you today that is so cool. So we're just going to get started. The first picture that we're looking at is City Hall.
Oh,
but
it was beautiful when we first found it.
It was so palatial. Let's have a look at it. It was literally tense.
Yeah, there's a lot of history buffs think that this was right after the Great Fire, but it actually wasn't. It was several months after the Great Fire, and everybody was kind of reconfigured for this photograph. But there was actually business happening in this tent city hall.
It looks like it was business. It looks like they were signing stuff.
And
they were working.
The Great Fire literally wiped out the entire city at that stage.
Exactly, yeah, all over Gastown. And you can see actually in this great Vancouver fire illustration by the first city archivist. He colored it in for us, and it shows really where the devastation hit the most. And you can see it's mostly in that Gastown area.
Look at the West End forest.
The West End is heavily timbered and swampy.
Yes. And the photo we're showing right now is the city smoldering the day after the fire, so you can see the smoke coming
So
off
what
of
year
the
was this
ruins.
again?
This was in 1886.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that it was amended or photoshopped at one point as well, the actual illustration by the first archivist.
Yes, note the whiteout and the boat that was added.
And we're looking at another picture right now. What is this one?
This is right after the fire as well, because Vancouver got back up on its feet right away. And this is the Tremont Hotel, and you'll see it's propped up by wooden slabs.
This is a hotel.
It's a hotel in Gastown.
There's kind of a tent amended on the back as well. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, that's the fancy edition.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, to have access to this kind of stuff and see, really, I mean, 125 years is a very short amount of time when it comes to, a measurement of history.
But look, it speaks to our resilience as a city, even that far back.
Yeah.
They were up and building right away.
Very cool. And we have a hotel, this is, Granville Street?
Yes, so this is actually in 1911. So, I'm sorry, yes, 1911. So this was construction at Granville and Pender. And we like this photograph in particular because it actually shows the workers working very happily. You'll see this.
Well, and you can also see that labor was significantly cheaper at that stage of Vancouver's history as well.
Lots of construction
There are a lot of guys working on that.
Interesting to see the horse and carriage in the background too.
Yes.
Very cool. Now, we have something amazing here. We're actually going to be giving this away. Tell us what this is and the dimensions of it.
This is a Moore panorama. It's 17 feet long.
17 feet long.
We've got several of these.
I'm going to pass it along to one of our interns.
From the Moore Panoramic Collection, we've got several of these on our Flickr site to view. And it just illustrates the, in that decade, this was 1913, a view from Dominion Building.
I think we're also showing the early beginnings of television.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, we're giving this away.
Wait, don't wreck this.
Don't wreck it. There you go. You take care of it. But what a cool thing to have. And people can view these on Flickr, which is absolutely amazing to see our city way back in the day.
Yeah, they're really fantastic. And we just got them up there lately, and we wrote a blog post about it on our blog as well. So
and people can actually download them, and if they choose to get them professionally printed, they can do that as well?
Yeah, and they, and they can get these amazing printouts. This is only blown up 3 times from the original negative.
Yeah,
so
when
the
you look
negatives were like this big.
Yeah, they were quite large.
That's incredible.
They were like this and about like this.
I can't even imagine what the camera must have looked like at that stage to take a panoramic.
I haven't seen one. I'd be curious.
Photo like that.
Okay, everybody hold
Said like a true archivist, right? I'd love to see that.
Okay, the next picture that we're going to look at is the Sylvia Hotel, of course, a landmark here in Vancouver.
Yeah, so it actually started construction that same year, so in the same decade, and that's the Sylvia Court Apartments there, that building on the right, the tallest one in English Bay. And then this is a colored photograph, of course, but
Stanley Park just over the other side.
And no ivy on Sylvia.
No
It was just planted that year, and this is a great photo. First of all, maybe tell us where this is.
Well, this is fabulous because it's a contrast to all the construction at the time. This was also 1911, but it was people hunting for cougars in Stanley Park. This is the entrance to Stanley Park.
Wow.
Yeah, and the next one will illustrate it even further.
So the next one is in Point Grey, and this is a little girl playing with her pet bear.
Her pet bear and her dog. I mean, it's on a leash, so you know the bear.
It's safety, yeah.
Playmate.
Safety first.
If I'm not mistaken, it looks like the leash is attached to both the bear and the dog. I don't know. Wow.
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, but boy, Point Grey has changed just a little bit over the time.
Okay, and this is City Hall. What year
so this is later. This is 1936, and so this is when City Hall was first constructed. This is our City Hall that we now know and love.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and during 1936, we also celebrated with a huge party called the Golden Jubilee, which is, in the next one, you'll see a parade.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the Golden Jubilee parade. And then, so there were celebrations all over the city, and I brought just some of the programs to illustrate for you.
The programs, by the way, are absolutely gorgeous. They're really cool. And so many of them, too. Different ones, different things.
These are from actually 1936, and those are from later, from the 75th.
Oh, from the 75th. Oh, I see.
61, yeah.
The paper quality is a little different.
Very cool. Do people donate all this, or do you guys have to go out and find them, or is it a combination?
Well, these two, it's really cool actually. They came from a Spencer's department store time capsule that they put together.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah, so that was a donation, and it was found later in a trunk years later. We even have the sign, the cardboard sign from the trunk in our records, in our holdings.
Now, that would bring
Time
up,
capsules actually work.
A lot of people have stuff that they come across and they don't know what to do with it, whether to keep it or not. So you take donations of stuff that might be interesting, just like this?
We do, and especially if it's a gathering, if it's an aggregation of records and documents, and that can include things like pictures we've seen today and drawings.
Nice.
We like the aggregations of records because it's more of a contextual history of whatever that part of the city is.
Nice. And we have some footage. I don't like to think of this as being old because I remember it so very vividly.
Both Michael and I were
But when you look at this footage, wow, it looks like it was shot in the 1930s. This is Expo 86. Lady Diana, Prince Charles, of course, opening the Expo.
And the Prime Minister and Sasquatch was in that too.
Of course. And in the Olympics, we have Squatchy. And then, of course, the inaugural SkyTrain. I was actually on the first SkyTrain ride with Bill Vanderzam. They went from Granville to Stadium. And that was also the last time I was on the SkyTrain.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
And then we sped this up for you, but it's the gondolas going over the expo. These videos that we're showing you too, they're from the Yaletown Entertainment Corporation fond that we brought into the archives just recently, and it's a 125th project to get all this digitized and described and available.
Very cool. And you guys are hard at work at archiving the Olympic experience in Vancouver as well.
Yes, in fact, that's my primary duty.
Oh, is it really? Fun.
How do you even tackle that?
Well, most of it's digital, so I'm a digital archivist, and that's what I specialize in, and I just want to make sure it's preserved for research for the future.
Well, if you need my tweets from the Olympics, they are available for you. Courtney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Courtney.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for bringing all this stuff.
And we are giving away the 17-foot long poster that we showed you earlier. If you want your chance to win it, of course, it's of downtown in the year 1913. Very cool.
Yes.
You can email us for your chance to win at urbanrush@shaw.ca.
If you have a 17-foot wall in your home, I think you and I should probably house swap. We're going to take a break and come